Hi, I am Natasha, and I started the Alumni Letters campaign situation, and I've decided that I think it'd be really nice to speak directly to the teachers. Anybody else, of course, can listen to this, but if you haven't read letters or if you're not ready to read letters, then this is a way for you to hear directly from me around the mission and what's going on and why we cared enough to do this. And so I think it starts really with just knowing that we ultimately all realized at different points in our careers after we've left the Oaks that there's a lot that we would tell the current students there. And whether it was we would support them or we would let them know they were going to get through this or help make their worldview so much bigger, there were just things that we wanted them to know. And so I reached out to random alumni I was still connected with and let them know that if they wanted to, they could write a letter and they could say whatever was on their heart based on their experience at the Oaks. And I prompted them with, if you could go back and tell the current students something, what would you tell them? And the ones that wrote from their heart. And I think that it's really easy to maybe villainize or demonize alumni who are maybe now considered these godless Democrats. And I will just tell you, so many of the letters and the alumni are not godless Democrats. So many of them are still Christian and Republican and love the Oaks and love the community, and they are writing in because they care. And there are also alumni who don't think that the letters are a good idea, and there are alumni who love the letters. But what I came to find out was that the parents love these letters, that there was a huge parent community that started feeling way less alone because of this. And I think that spoke volumes because it started making me realize that if the parents and the alumni no longer feel alone, then there are teachers out there who also have wanted to support and help and make change happen, but have felt alone. So I wanted to reach out because the change can happen, and we are all part of this crazy year. And if you leave me alone in quarantine for 9 months, then yeah, I will start a weird blog post and collect letters from alumni. It's been hard. And so moving past that, I think there are two main things that the teachers can take away from this. Number one, I encourage you to read the letters because there are a lot of trends that I think come up through them that have never been talked about, and that if they change, you'd really help the current students there. Whether that's being open-minded, whether that is recognizing that many of them are scared, they are exhausted, they are really smart and don't know it yet. But we wrote these letters because we care about those current students. And if I could go back and find the little Natashas, I would let them know this. I would tell them that they're supported. I would let them know they're not alone, and that it's really, really hard, and that you're probably going to go through a lot of therapy, but when you come out on the other side, you're proud of who you are and you're proud of who you became. And then it dawned on me and a lot of other people that if we let the teachers know that you guys have the power to support these kids and to make sure that they know that they're loved, it's not just a matter of telling them that they're loved, but it is a matter of listening to them and giving them a voice and giving them the tools to suss out all of the confusing parts of our world. And they might not turn into the person that you want them to be, and that's okay. I think the causal relationship that we've wanted to try to create from this, that many of us went to the Oaks, and then because we hated the Oaks, we turned a certain direction. I will tell you, it doesn't go that way at all. You graduate from the Oaks and it's very bittersweet, and you hate parts of it and you love parts of it, and then you leave, and the next couple of years are really intense. It's just a lot. You go through a big journey. And all of the journeys are different, but there's a trend that we're all going through this journey. It's not really a matter of leaving the Oaks and just desperately wishing you could go back, unless some of us, I mean, there are kids that do that, right? There are kids that go back and teach there. I have friends that are doing that right now, that is doing that right now. And there are other kids who are under your current tutelage who we were just wanting to reach out to and say, if you feel this way, you're not alone. We felt it too. And these are things that you can do to get better. These are things that, here are resources and support so that you know you're not alone. And that was the main goal for all of this. It was certainly not to hurt anybody, but I'm sure it has hurt some people, because these letters are hard to read, because a lot is happening there. And the second thing that I think it's really important to mention is that the teachers are the catalyst for the change there. And if you have wanted to try something, it's probably pretty hard to stand up as a teacher when you have a differing opinion. I am guessing. I mean, it's really hard as a kid. So if there are things that you know that you could change or implement or soften or adjust, I will tell you now that you're probably saving a couple of kids from writing their letters 5 or 10 years from now. And it's good. And the causal relationship that I've mentioned before, it doesn't really happen that way. We're all going to end up the way that the person that we're becoming, right? Like, as a teacher, I don't think that you can entirely mold a person, but you can give them the tools to help mold themselves. And I was impacted by lots of teachers there. I remember what it's like to sit in those classrooms. I cried all the time. I won speech meet contests and never was a headmaster's kid. And I decorated for the ball, and I excelled at the wax museum thing that we did in 4th grade. And I remember so many crazy details about weird things that happened in the classroom and awesome things that happened in our extracurriculars. And the community there is really sweet. And the community there needs a little bit of support to start improving. And I think this could go in a really awesome, positive direction. If you want my feedback or any more of my thoughts, feel free to email me. My email address is nncheeley@gmail.com. That's nncheeley@gmail.com. Or you're welcome to find me on any social media. A lot of people are following along and are wondering if the teachers care that this even happened. So hearing from you is great. Merry Christmas.